What happens if you make a mistake on a cookie and you have no extras? Not an ideal situation, so I'll show you how to fix it. Sometimes I overflood my cookies, which means I put too much flood icing and it's running over the edge. So usually what I do is just take my scribe and I run it along the edge and I try to clean up and take a little bit of the icing off. Now normally this is great, it works fine, and I go to dry my cookie, all is good. But not this time. This time it just was too much flood icing, and as it dried it started to slowly drip over the edge, and this is what we ended up with. Now it doesn't look very pretty. We don't want it coming over the edge, so I'll show you a way to clean it up. It's not the most perfect way, but it does clean it up nicely. So here you just want to take a nice sharp knife, and what we're going to do is just go parallel to the cookie and slice it off. Now see at the end there, I took a big chunk of my cookie out. Well, that's on me not being patient. So what happened here is because my flood icing wasn't dry enough, it was crusted over, but it was really wet underneath. That made the icing on the top crack really easily. So you don't want to wait till it's fully dry because then you cannot cut it at all. And you don't really want to wait till it's just a little bit dry either. So you kind of have to find the balance. So there's a lot of cracks showing on the top of my cookie. So what I'm going to do is take some of my flood icing and put it on top here. And I'm going to take a damp paintbrush and I'm going to just push the icing into those cracks and crevices. And because it's my flood, it's going to kind of settle nice and smooth. So see how it just kind of disappeared out of sight? So of course, if you look super close at the cookie, you might see that there's a little bit of difference. But if you're just looking at them or they're sitting on a platter, you probably wouldn't notice at all. So I'm just working my brush to push all the icing into all the little cracks just to fill in that kind of area. And then it'll smooth nicely over. And now on this side too, again, the icing kind of broke uneven. Lower down, it kind of had a nice smooth line, but then up top, it just cracked the icing a little bit too much. So similar idea, I'm gonna put some of the flood icing into wherever there's cracks and just gonna work the icing into those cracks and it'll settle down nice and smooth. Now you see there's a little bit of icing on the side of the cookie. That doesn't really bother me, but if it bothers you, you can also take a microplane grater or kind of the edge of your knife and scrape the little bit of icing off and you wouldn't really notice it at all. But I think it's a pretty good fix. What do you guys think?